Right, good afternoon. It is Saturday, the 10th of May, and my new filter pad's turned up, which has actually turned out to be jack matting. I've had to trim off about 3 centimetres all the way around because it was just a bit too big to fit into the barrel. So I'm going to put you down. Hopefully you can see that, and I'm going to try and put this all together. I did dry run this just a minute ago with this pad and it was a bit of a nightmare. So I've got to put the void space back in. I'm going to try and, I've got 2 air stones going in here at the minute because it stops the mosquitoes. So I'm just going to put that like that. Ideally, let's just try and put one over here. Right, let's get the void space in. Do that every time. Get this bit in first. Right, that bit not too bad. See, with these plastic poles, all they want to do is push it up all the time. So, because the mesh is really thin, it's strong enough to push it up. Right, that bit comes off. Let's try and get this filter pad in. It is tight. So, come on. Do that there. Cool, that's actually stayed in the middle. Ish. Come on. Is there? If this bit drags on too long, I'll definitely be speeding it up. There we go. That bit's not too bad. Can I still get this on? Yeah. Pull that up a little bit. Put another one there, another one there. Yeah, basically with the air stones, it's just to try and stop the mosquitoes and that laying there. But that's actually a really good size. I'm surprised I managed to cut that so well. Right, what filter mat. The reason why I filter floss, I put this in there so it just guides. It's got somewhere for it to sort of sit. And also what I've done as well now, I've had a load of the pumice left over, and I've still got some. I haven't used all of it yet. And I've put it in the last 4 bags that I had left over from the 10 that I purchased. So I'm going to put the pumice on top of this as well, just because I have it. I might as well use it up. And also with this like jack mat and stuff, now that's quite a firm, solid base, the pumice won't try and fall through. Can't go anywhere. Of course, that's raised it up about 4 centimetres, that jack mat and stuff. So I might end up having to cut the legs a little bit to make sure that this sits under the water. Otherwise, if it doesn't sit under the water, mosquitoes will lay their eggs on it. That's fully down. Right, so there we go. Another part of the second barrel done. I'll just keep an eye on it. Bit of air trapped in there. I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll put the sock filter on now, and we're running over test for 2 hours and see how we go. Right, I have just made a little adjustment. I've lowered it by 5 centimetres because the jack mat filter ring was 4 centimetres, and what I wanted to do is just make sure there was enough room so I could leave off this if required, because it will improve the flow going out by having this off. And I've decided to put the air stones on the top, so when I put it all back together I'll show you another clip. Right, so that's back together now, 5 centimetres lower, and I've put the air stones on the top, just so it makes as much, just puts a bit of flow to the water really to stop the mosquitoes laying the eggs. And now the pumice is just below the water level, so yeah, I'll go and put the sock filter on now and see what we get after 2 hours. Right, good afternoon. Now Sunday, just gone 12:30. I couldn't do it yesterday afternoon because it was too late. It had gone 5 o'clock, and it always gets dark here at between 6:45 and 7 o'clock all the year round. So I wouldn't have been able to see anything very well, and it wouldn't have picked up on the camera. So I decided to do the 2 hours today, but I have got to go out, so it might end up being more than 2 hours depending on when I get back. But the skimmer line is on now as well. The new jack matting is inside barrel 2, so we'll run this for 2 hours and see what results we get. Right, so it's now 10 to 4 in the afternoon, so we're 3.5 hours I guess. I had to go out, so I couldn't have a 2 hour test today. I'm absolutely chucking it down the road. Oh, this looks a bit better. Look at that. That's definitely a lot better. Get rid of that. Makes it look worse than it is with that. Oh yeah. So that jack matting has helped quite a bit. I'm going to try and get another piece of something to go in there. Maybe even look at some more different style nets. So I'll have a look, see what I can purchase, and give you another update as and when I get anything else. But that, I mean, that's definitely the best it's been so far. So adding extra pieces of material in there is helping. So yeah, happy with that. So I'll catch you in our next update. Right, good morning everyone. It is Thursday the 15th of May. My new filter pads turned up. I ordered 2 meters by 1 meter wide, so I've got plenty of spare. It's filter clean day today as well. So what I've got to do is boil up the K1 in barrel 1 and then sort out barrel 2. I've got to pull out the jack matting and trace round the jack matting so I can cut it out from the new filter pad. So I'll go through, start cleaning everything, and then show you when I put barrel 2 back together. Right, so as it's Thursday and doing the maintenance, it's just coming up 10 past 10 in the morning. So I'm putting my clay treatment in, let that circulate for an hour like normal, and then I'll start testing with the sock filter again. Well, I just thought I'd show you quickly the colour of the water. It's obviously pretty dark. It is gathering a load of waste. I have just rinsed off the nets inside, but I'm just going to give them a quick rinse off with a hose as well. And I thought I'd show you why it's out. The UV, the new UV at the moment, is hung in the centre of the void space, and the cable comes through the old slot where the cleaner manifold was. I've taken that out because I don't think the cleaner manifold will really benefit in this barrel now. So I'll just go and clean up the media and the new cut filter mat, and then I'll start showing you putting it all back together. Right, hopefully you can see that alright. I've just drained this water, topped it back up with the pond water coming from barrel 1. So I'm going to put this back together. That's going in first. These have had a bit of a rinse. Not very long. They were a little bit dirty, but not too bad. I think it's going to tip it down with rain in a minute as well. Also, the reason with that UV light being there, I will explain that in a minute. Get these so they're kind of in the right position, sinking. That way, void space. Like so. All stayed underneath this time. Bit of a result. Right. Jack mat first. Whoops. Right, that one's in. I have forgot to do something. I'll just show you, but these are the new mats. I've just cut them up out of that 2 meter by 1 meter piece I'll cut up 2 for now, but I forgot to put the hole in the middle, so I'll just put that in and I'll come back to you. Alright, take 2. Sorry about that. Put that in the middle like that. This one down first. goes in there. Nice. As Perky would say, nice. Right. And I'm gonna put another piece of filter floss in. Unfortunately, I haven't quite got enough to cut them out, and when I went to the shop this morning, passing going to another shop, it was closed, so I'm gonna have to go and get some more later. Just put it on. I don't really want to use floss all the time, because although it's cheap and basically a piece you can use and then chuck it away after a week, it's just the fact that you've got to clean it so much. It is good, but I just hate having to clean it like every other day. It just, it's not really what I wanted to be doing. That's why I'm trying these other things, just to try and make it as least maintenance as possible, but also making it as clean and healthy for the fish as possible. So yeah, but if I've got to continue using floss, then I will, but I don't particularly want to. So I am going to put the pumice back in, just because I've got it, I might as well use it. No point wasting it, and plus if I need to use any of this Medialite on the IVC tank in the future, it will be matured and ready to go. The water level's got to come up yet, that's why it's not below at the moment. But right, happy with that. Let's get the water back on, and then it's probably another half an hour away yet until the full hour's up where the clay's gone in, and then I'll show you as and when I put the filter sort back on. We'll run a test and we'll see how much more it's improved. Right, just as the water's topping up, I thought I'd try and just explain to you what is going on with this UV and what I've decided to do. I did manage to find a new bulb for it. However, the cost of the bulb, not extreme, but I didn't buy it for another reason, that when I was having a look at the electrics, I won't get them out now, you have to take my word for it. When I took it apart, I noticed that the earth cable has like been snipped or never connected, but a little bit exposed, and I can't find where that earth cable should go. It doesn't make sense to me, as this is a brand new unit. The like ballast thing is down there. I believe this come out of Australia, this UV light, but it makes me wonder why the UV bulb blew after, you know, 3 months, less than 3 months. It doesn't make sense. I'm not sure if the electric regulations are different. I don't know. Something I'm not really going to look into, to be honest. Many years ago, and it still happens to this day, in Thailand, when they build houses, they don't earth the electrics. So most of the time when you plug something into your household, you get a little bit of a zap. My house is a bit different, because when it was purchased, we ripped everything out. New ceilings, new electrics, and earths were included. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. When they brought it into Thailand, they decided to chop it off. No idea. So the reason why you saw earlier that the UV was in the center of this barrel is because I'm not 100% sure if these barrels are UV safe. So by putting it into the centre of the barrel on the void space, I'm hoping that will kind of take some of that out of the equation. And that UV is only a 7 watt. So we'll see. I'll see what the clarity likes on the water and take it from there really. So with the fact that the new light bulb was quite expensive and the electric problem that I found, what I've decided to do is completely remove it. I'm not going to bin it, I'll keep it, but it's going to be removed. It's going to be hard piped all the way to the top where this metal trimming is. It's going to come all the way along and down to this 2-tier sieve backy shower. And what I've done is I've purchased another box. These are I think 36 centimeters high. The new one that's come in is 24 centimeters high, because obviously I'm limited on space. I couldn't get the same size box in there, so I've gone for the shallower box, all the same other dimensions obviously, and I'm either going to take out the sieve filter in here and convert it into the new tier, or I will put the other tier in the centre. I'm not 100% sure what media I'm going to put in there yet. At the minute I'm kind of looking more towards that I might add a lot more oyster shells, or 24 centimeters depth of oyster shells in there. But I do have a load of pumice left over, so we'll see. But I can't add that into this video because the box hasn't turned up, but I have been told it will be here later this afternoon, so it'll go in next week's video. Once, because I've got to change all the pipe work on that. It'll only take like 20 minutes, but I've got to go and buy some more pipe, and I think I'm gonna change it all back to the 3/4 inch, because that's 3/4 inch that side, 1 inch that side. But I think I'm gonna put it to 3/4 inch, run it all the way, but we'll see. But I'll leave it there on that. But that's what's happening with the UV. Bit disappointing. Just spent quite a bit of money on that, but I don't want to spend out the money on a new bulb and that electric problem causing the bulb to blow again. So I'll have to look into that in the future, I think, and we'll go from there. Right then, 11:06. Let's get this sock filter back on and we'll test it again and see how we go. But I think realistically now, with anything that I add to it, it's just going to get better. So I mean, I'm not really looking to add too much more to it, but we'll just have to see what these results come out as. But earlier this week it was pretty good, as you've seen earlier, so yeah, we'll try it for a couple of hours, see how we go. Right, so just come out at 2:10. It looks a little bit dirty than I thought it was going to be, but I think that's because where I was messing around with a filter and it's got the clay in there. So we'll have a quick look. Right, so yeah, a little bit brown. So what I'll do is I'll give that a rinse out, and then I'll put it on for another 2 hours and see. But I think that's a bit off where obviously the clay's gone in, and I was messing around with the filter. I think it's disturbed that quite a lot, so I'll give it a clean and I'll put it back on. Right, so although that first bit looked dirty, I'm not worried about that. I think that's just the clay. So it's now just 1:30. I'll whack this back on a couple more hours and test it again. But I'm running the same tests I did when I first started it, but what I'll do is I'll test it again on Saturday and then probably again on Tuesday and see how long it takes for it to get dirty, so I can work out how the system's doing. But yeah, I'm not worried about that first one. So we'll leave that a couple more hours and we'll see what happens. Right, so it's just gone 4:20. A bit longer, have to go and do something else. So the pond is starting to clear with the clay, but the sock is still just about halfway up on that side. Not too bad that side. That has gathered a bit of muck, so I think I'm going to leave it today, let the clay settle, and I'll test again in the morning and see where we're at. Whether I need to add the 2 pieces of filter floss back in, I'll determine that tomorrow morning when I test. So I'll come back to you tomorrow morning. Right, good morning everyone. It's just gone 8:20 in the morning. Let's get this back on, see where we're at. You can see that the water, if you look down in the corner, it has cleared up quite a lot, which I'm not surprised at. Normally it's like 24 hours under, the pond has cleaned up nice. So what's going on there? What is that? But yeah, hopefully this has sorted it out really good. But we'll come back in a couple of hours. Right, so it's just coming up 10:20 in the morning. So we'll pull the sock filter off. So yeah, it's obviously improved loads since yesterday. The clay was causing the discoloration yesterday, but yeah, that's pretty good. That's the best it's been from when we started and changing the filter system, so quite happy with that. Still need to do a little bit more, I think. Whether I decide to add some more media in there, I'm not sure. I'll probably pop out to the shop later on and pick up some more floss. I might whack another 2 pieces of floss in there and just see how much it's gathering up from the extra pieces of filter media. But I'll show you what the barrel looks like. Fish are a bit spooked at the minute. I just pulled the net off. The net's on all the time, so a few less mosquitoes in here this morning as well. But this is what the second barrel looks like after like 20 odd hours, I suppose. So the water at the top's pretty clear. You can see the filter floss is starting to go a slight discoloration, but it's not too bad, so I think I'll call it for that one on this video. And I have popped out to the shop this morning and picked up the supplies to change the pipe work for the old UV. So the box didn't turn up yesterday. The weather was absolutely horrendous, so I don't blame them for not delivering that yesterday. But I'll get on and do that in the next couple of days. So yeah, I mean the water's pretty clear at the moment. It's the best it's been, definitely, over the last couple of weeks. So we are going in the right direction. Just keep making these little changes and hopefully improve everything. So thank you very much all for watching. Hope you all have a good weekend, and then I'll catch you on the next one, probably next Friday. All the best.